Future gods and goddesses in training, welcome back to the channel. I'm Uncle Makara. Let's talk today about how to make your spiritual journey exciting. So you might have just delved and found this video, whether you're an atheist, whether you're religious, whatever it is. In the beginning of my spiritual path, I got very confused, and maybe some of you did as well, or maybe you're currently confused about what to do next. But I understood that there was something inside of me craving some kind of a conflict. And I noticed that it was a spiritual conflict of light and dark that I noticed within myself, which was reflecting on the outside, as within so without, right? Back in the days, in the world of the Vedas, understand that the concepts are so enriching, including the idea of soma. Now, soma has been shown to almost be a gateway or a portal, and I want you to think of soma like your reptilian brain of fight or flight. Because when people ingested this substance, and I just want to note, it wasn't a psychedelic, it was an invigorant that made you feel all this adrenaline, all this energy, like fighter mode, like war mode. I mean, Indra took lakes of this stuff, right? In order for him to get activated, in a sense. Oftentimes we look at that fight or flight state as a very, very bad thing. But I think ultimately we have warrior blood. We have this need to fight, especially fight against the evil. Now, the darkness doesn't have to be evil, okay, just the unknown. So let's differentiate between those two. Once you know the power of the center point of neutrality, you can be the great Jedi that doesn't need to get corrupted by the powers of evil. Even though a lot of the celebrities that you're seeing with one-eyed symbolism hiding their hand, okay, you see all of it, man. It's right in front of your faces. Now, you can deny this all you want, but there is something going on behind the scenes, and you know it and I know it. But what I notice is, I notice this with a lot of people on their spiritual journey, they're just kind of doing it in a very mundane autopilot way. They're not really feeling, embodying the rituals that they're doing, making it meaningful from a positive attitude of growth and expansion. And I think this is one of the main differences that can make your spiritual journey very mundane and boring, like just another day, as opposed to this endless adventure, almost like this childlike curiosity of a scavenger hunt in the astral, okay? So I haven't lost that sense of gamification. Not that I can control anything in this, okay? I can just create maybe some boundaries. But I understand I need that gamification as well as that selfless devotion. Both of those are so required. I need my ambition in life to move forward, but I also need that spirituality. I mean, we can call it compassion or whatever we want to, right? But really it's this understanding of I'm living by design, but I'm also living by destiny. The seen and the unseen, the metaphysical and physical world merging together. And that's when things really start to get fun and exciting. Because ultimately, what do we truly want? We want peace of mind, we want to be happy, we want to have fun. And I was telling someone the other day that growth is the consciousness of happiness, right? When we're looking forward to something, it's exciting. Sometimes I'll give myself a goal in the future just so I can look forward to it. A due date on the calendar of flow that will give me my next expansion, my next level. And there's levels beyond levels in this thing. If we all came from a pore in Vishnu's face or something, right? And it created a whole universe, and then from that universe, certain devas control that universe. Don't make this journey cut and dry and cookie cutter for you. It can be improvisational, spontaneous, and fun. Some people have gunas, which allows you to step into a very specific frequency. For example, I have more of a deva gana Ryanji has more of a Rakshasa Gana. And then there's people who are more balanced or in between in the human Gana. Shout out to Gunna the rapper as well, okay? In terms of the Asuras, you know how they live on these floating islands of sorts, below the earth, below the universe, in a sense. Think about this, death is a violence from disconnecting from your life source, right? Yes, it is also a transitional phase, it's an illusion. However, we cannot forget that that's actually a very scary place to be, okay? So if you're going through some kind of anxiety or depression, you might be in a very terrified or frightening place right now, okay? As I've been looking and reading and watching information more about the Agoris or the Agoras, I've understood the fearlessness that they embody. And I think maybe through adopting this mentality, you can also skate past the pain, the suffering that this world brings to you. So the Agoras believe if something is terrifying to you, you find a way to adapt to it. This is almost the understanding of, okay, if I'm scared of spiders, I'm gonna get a spider soft toy and cuddle it every day. I'm going to simplify that phobia in my own life so that I can gain direct access to it, so I'm not pushing it away or flinching away from it, but I'm allowing myself to overcome this soma experience of fight or flight, where that experience that I'm getting in the physical world is activating me to behave like a warrior, to understand that I'm on the spiritual process, and to leave my mind open to the possibility that these gods and deities can help me. Because I need to get into a receptive state in order to understand what they're telling me. I need to get into a flow state in order for me to create a direct line of communication with them. They might be telling me things in the now, but I have maybe my own limitations, my own blocks, my own beta brainwaves going off, you know? Maybe thinking about so many different things without actually understanding that there's a world out there where people are doing some of these ritual practices and they may seem weird to us, right? Some people are drinking urine, some people are, you know, using menstrual blood as a symbol for manifesting into the physical. Some people are taking intoxicants, which changes the structure of their personality. And so when their personality changes and the organization of that changes, sometimes, you know, spirits can take over. I mean, you might have noticed this when you're drinking alcohol, you behave like a different person. You drop your inhibitions, right? And you start behaving differently. Now, the true art form here is, and not to get into that boring tamasic, dark state of over drinking and over consumption and blacking out and not remembering what you said, what you channeled. It's to not get carried away by the personality, but to focus that energy of intoxication on the deity itself. So you might be going throughout your day and you feel, whoa, I'm floating away. Just bring yourself back into the now, putting your focus directly towards your third eye, towards that specific being, whether it be Hanuman or Christ or Allah for that matter. You put it towards that specific energy that you want to adopt, that level of consciousness, instead of getting floating away and letting the substance control you rather than vice versa. So these Agoris or Agoras, they have this thing called Aveja, which is quite similar to the summoning or channeling. So this allows these different beings to come through and express themselves through you as the vessel. And some of them also want to achieve the Shivatma, which is like a merging with Shiva's energy. And so they're said to live a very long time because they can control their breath or breathing. You know that turtles live a really long time because they breathe very, very slow. So this is the mentality to stop making this journey boring for you. I'm on the side of life. This is the mentality. I'm on the side of life. I'm on the side of evolution, of growth, of expansion. I'm not on the side of stagnancy. I'm not on the side of apathy. I'm not on the side of stuckness, because that's not the truth. Nothing is stuck. Everything is vibrating atoms. So you might go from, oh yeah, this is just a social construction. I was born into a Catholic family and I have to do this. I have to kind of stick it out till the end, into a fascination maybe with ancient Egypt, and you're watching Ancient Aliens at night and you're like, man, I feel all of these weird downloads coming in, but I was told something different growing up. And then you become what? You become conscious again. You start having these lucid memories and deja vus as you go into these altered states. You get your God memory back. This is why we're gods in training, start to understand what is really happening. Because this is not about us at this point. It's about what these beings want for us. You know, it's almost that understanding that, you know, all paths converge. And Vivekananda talked about this, but also start to understand that it's like that story of the elephant, right? A blind man will touch different parts of the elephant thinking it's touching different things, like it's touching the tail and it's thinking it's the rope, and then it's touching its leg and thinking it's the trunk of a tree, without him understanding that there's a bigger picture at play, that I'm just zooming into one part and trying to understand it. So removing our lack of foresight, removing our limitations, getting ourselves into a receptive state of surrender. If you're going through a dark night of the soul, understand you've got to have the goal of winning this fight, this internal fight for a better universe on the external. Because the darkness within you is the same darkness that's in the world around you that you are seeing and experiencing. So when you do the shadow work, when you finally face the fears and traumas and different things you've been hiding from, having faith that a higher power will align you towards your truth and freedom. The samurais, the Vikings, the warriors, they knew this, that they would follow their own code despite pain or suffering. They would be unapologetic about their code, about what constructed them, their principles, their fundamentals. And perhaps you feel like you're lacking a groundedness, a base towards this thing, because what spirituality can get us to do is just go and live in our minds. A lot of spirituality is woo-woo. We're saying the complete opposite. It's ow-ow, okay? It's backwards. Turn the woo backwards. It's ow. It's painful, right? It's not love and light. It's also sex and darkness. It's also discussing money. It's all of that, you see? So yeah, you can get distracted in this thing, talking about Anunnaki giants and inner earth and, you know, reading conspiracies about floods of ancient cultures. All that stuff is great, but what is our bigger spiritual mission? What is the war that we're really fighting? And is it meaningful to us? Or is it just a regurgitation of our past nonsense? There is a cyber Satan available through the AI system, and we must understand how to weave in and out of the 0 point and get back to zero when we can choose to pause the video game and go to menu mode to figure out the ebb and flow of those polarities. If someone's insulting you, thank you. If someone's complimenting you, thank you. Okay, same level of response. The insult doesn't require you to go in and go, hey, wait a minute, what are you? Or maybe if someone gives you a compliment, you push it away. Yeah, but I didn't really intend to do that. I mean, I guess. Let's get back to the understanding that you are a unique fingerprint in this thing, but your DNA is a part of the larger DNA, the code that connects you to all. So you might think, I'm feeling very lonely, there's no one out there for me, when there's billions of people on the planet, and you have no idea who might resonate with your message. Do you think I feel alone when I have all of these people watching these videos and getting these insights from me and understanding and reaching out to me? Does boredom enter my mind, or is it a relaxation that I really need? You see, boredom is just a lack of activation of your relaxation. You're in your relaxation, you're feeling not enough energy at times to handle the problems of your life. So this is why going on a spiritual process fills you with more life, fills you with energy. You've seen some of these yogis, man, who bounce around. They have so much energy, even at their old age. And that's because they're raising their frequency, they're raising their energy, they're understanding that their contortions of their physical body is what allows them to deal with the contortions in the physical world. You see, the physical world will try to twist and entangle you and turn you into different asanas already metaphorically. But the yogi leans into the tension and can stay there and allow themselves to stay within that posture that's causing them pain in order to transcend and move beyond it into a state of mind that allows them to weave, adapt, and become flexible, and ultimately enhance their survival. So at Primal Sutra, we really understand this, that spirituality at the end of the day is for our survival. And yeah, you might have someone from the hood particularly just focusing on survival, right? And you might have someone from a monastery just focusing on the spiritual. However, when we can blend both of those worlds, the urban monk is born. The modern day shaman is born. The one who merges these two worlds together, the gatekeeper of both, is born and is being reborn and continuously dying to their old selves. So this is how you make this journey interesting for you. You become your greatest interest. You know yourself. You're curious about yourself because you love yourself. And if you don't love yourself, there's something off in your own principles, your values, and your own coding. So you could blame it on the chemicals in your brain, like, yeah, my brain is just wired differently, that's why I'm suffering. Or you can take this as a sign to lean into the edge of the future and truly decide what is real, what is true, what is long lasting, that's gonna stay with you in the spiritual process. Hope you enjoyed this video, man. Have an incredible day. May the flow be with you and stay legendary. Let's go upwards, man.